What's going on, guys? My name is Matt. I'm going to be helping you automate your fitness business. And today I'm going to be going over three fitness business automations that I think every fitness business owner should use. So whether or not you're a gym, an online coach, a personal trainer, these can all significantly benefit you in scaling your business, saving costs, and also just tracking things so you can make better decisions. So the first one that I've got here is track your sales rates on appointments. So this can be in-person appointments, it can be sales calls, it can be however you do your sales, whether even if that's conversions on your website. Track the numbers between how well you are actually selling and not. Let me give you an example. If you have 10 inquiries that come in every week and you have no idea how many of those you actually close, it could be 4 one week, it could be 6 the next, and you don't track that, you have no way of knowing if you're actually getting better at your sales process or your team is getting better at their sales process. So one thing I would implement in every fitness business straight away, and what I've done consistently in these businesses, is give them a visual on their sales rate. So how do you actually track that? I'm going to use the example of a gym, and then I'm going to use the example of like an online coach or a personal trainer. So with a gym, it can be a little bit hard because you may have multiple salespeople running your sales. They may be going through, in-person appointments. They may sell over the phone. It can be different for every business. So the number one thing that you want to do is have consistency across those when it comes to your CRM. So if you are using a CRM, whether it be Go High Level, whether it be HubSpot, whether it be Monday.com, whether it be Gym Master, whatever you are using, ensure that everyone is using it. And that may be retraining, so getting people up to speed on what the actual process is when it comes to sales. Or it may be just simply asking them to update their notes, update their statuses, whatever it might be. That's number one. The actual automation, however, is you just need to update a Google Sheet, or you just need to update a Airtable, or if your CRM has inbuilt tracking, just update that. It's just a matter of having that information there. So I'm going to give you a really quick example of what that automation could look like. Let me just change this to, it's highlighted so no one can see. All right, cool. Let's just see if this is going to work. So it still hates me. All right. Yeah, cool. So this automation could be for a gym, could be sales call / meeting happens. Then in GHL, appointment status is updated to, sold, right? And this then updates Google Sheets / Airtable with metric. So sold equals like +1. So you're adding on top of it, right? So whatever appointment status, whatever your platform is, you just want to have this small automation. It literally can be 2 steps in Zapier, or you keep it inside GHL if you want. You just need to update the appointment status is either sold, lost, or abandoned, or no sale. Allowing you to do this will allow you to track that information significantly easier. All right, cool. So moving on to online coaches, the biggest and the easiest one is just your CRM. So just moving your deals into the stage after the actual booked call. So not just leaving it. I see this happen where people, either they don't make the sale or they do make the sale, and especially if they don't have any onboarding steps that happen fully automated afterwards, they just leave their opportunities in like the booked call field. And if that's you, then try and get into the habit of bringing the actual opportunity across. So if we go into Go High Level here for a second, and I go into opportunities, and if you don't have a pipeline with like these adequate stages, then it might be time for you to spend some time doing that. So let me just use this example here. I'm going to put myself into booked call, and let's just have a look. So if I put myself in booked call here, after every sales call, it should be your habit to come in here, update the notes saying, Matt was great. He's joining, right? You would then add the note so that everyone can see it, whether you have a VA or whatever, and then just drag them across to sale made. That is going to be one of the number one things you're going to be able to do to track your metrics. And that's a really simple automation to set up where you just go into either even just leaving this, not even having to automate that. It will do it by itself, and then you'll be able to track your metrics in the dashboard here, right? If you don't have this set up, then you can set this up, whatever it might be, is tracking these metrics. But let's jump into the second one. So our second one here is when your clients cancel, let's change this to, there we go. When your client's canceled in Stripe, send a link. Now, what I mean by this is when someone actually leaves you and they cancel, send them a form that asks why. Now, this is incredibly good to gather feedback, but it's also great to see if you can potentially resell someone. Say, for example, you sent someone a form, right? So Stripe notifies you that someone's cancelled. So you have you have like Zapier or Make. So Zapier or Make watching for cancellations. And then the next step is it waits, let's say 5 hours. Give them some time to cool off for if it was an impulsive decision, and then sends a Typeform or something like that, Typeform link asking why. So you don't want to send this being like, oh, it's a feedback survey or whatever. You just send the Typeform link and say, hey, saw you cancelled. Can you please take a look at this? And what that's going to do is going to give you the opportunity to ask them questions like, easy ones, so like first name, last name, first name, etc. And then you want to ask, why did you stop? And now you can give multiple choice answers, or you can leave it open to them, and they will give you generic answers, right? However, you want to try and get the most honest response out of them possible. And if they say something along the lines of, it was too expensive, didn't get my money's worth, right? That gives you an opportunity to overcome whatever this was, right? So this is where I would, if it were me personally or my clients, they reach out and say, what do you feel like was lacking in this service? And if it was something simple like, didn't get enough responses during the week for online coaches during the week, right? That gives them an opportunity to say, okay, if I fix that, would you sign back up? And they might say something along the lines of, yeah, like it was really good service. I just wanted more of it. So that's when you can jump in and say, okay, cool. Well, let's do, $10 off a week for the next 12 weeks to see how it goes. And if you are happy with it, you can stay on. If not, if nothing's changed in 3 weeks, then you're more than happy to drop off, no questions asked. And they'll either say yes or no, and it gives you an opportunity to resell them, right? Because you don't want to lose revenue. It's so much easier to keep people than it is to find new people. And if you want to reduce your churn, so reduce the amount of time people leave and keep your income relatively consistent, then you're going to have to do things like this. It's not just, okay, someone leaves, it's the end of the world. No, you get on a phone and you call them and you find out why. Mind you, if they just say, I just don't need it anymore, then don't try and resell that person. You don't want to sound desperate, and that is a thing that is a little bit desperate, so we don't want to do that. So the way that you set that up, as I said, is really easy. Inside Zapier or GHL, you have your action be like watch Stripe. Sorry, your trigger, not action. Watch Stripe, cancel. And then you send, then delay, and then you send the Typeform link. Super simple, right? Automation isn't complicated. But we're moving on to the next one. So client check-ins is the next one. Now, this is not something that a lot of people, check-ins, cool. This is not something that a lot of people do. They don't often have automations based around their check-ins. However, I found it is incredibly beneficial to increase client engagement. Now, what I mean by this is setting up a message that runs every week that allows someone to fill in their progress, right? So you may use Trainerize, you may use Google Sheet where you go in and, record a loom. That's the most common check-in ever, and you can still do that. However, you want someone to fill out a form every single week. So not just update their, measurements of their waist and bust and legs or whatever. You want them to actually fill out questions that have that have meaning and actually get them to think about their journey a little bit more. So a really good one is, how was your sleep, right? How was your sleep? And you can get them to rate it through 1 through 10. And if they answer anything less than like a 7, ask a follow-up question in the form, ask why, right? So if you are less than a 7 and ask why, they can say, oh, well, I'm fighting with my partner and I'm hungry, right? And it allows you to dig a bit deeper on their journey where, you wouldn't have got this answer unless you had actually asked. Now, this actual automation of sending the reminder is actually harder than you think, right? Because you need a way to consistently message people. So one, consistent message. You need to also be able to only message active clients. You need it to happen weekly. And you actually need to use the data. So the way that I would go about doing this and the way I do set it up, and it took me forever to get this right, is so the consistent message, it just needs to be a scripted, hey, name, it's time to check in. And then I do this through Grow High Level. So when someone, all right, so let's do this right so it's easy to understand. So when someone signs up, then add active client tag. And when added the active client tag, automation to join check-in runs, which is then just a loop. So it uses the go-to function in Go High Level, go to, and does some tricky stuff with timings. So that only sends once a week. So that's pretty nifty, that one, right? So then happens weekly. So that's what I just explained. And you need to use that data. So what you can do, so you say you have 10 questions, and going through each of those questions isn't always necessary. However, you can write a really good ChatGPT prompt that will allow you to, or a Claude prompt, that will allow you to use that data and summarize it and send it to yourself, and then you can read that summary. So what you can do is you can say, I need a prompt that will take in different survey questions from an online fitness coach's clients that will allow the coach to put their answers into ChatGPT to give a good summary of their progress the past week. This is a terrible prompt. The past week. What should the questions be? Right? And we'll see what it gives us. That was a shit prompt, so apologize in advance. To create an efficient prompt for fitness coaches, here's suggested questions. So there's the generic ones, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your energy? How many days did you exercise? Okay, cool. This is actually really good. Did you achieve your workout goals for the week? If not, what obstacles did you face? So it just basically allows you to have those two-part questions. That how many days did you exercise this week, and what times of exercises did you do? What types of exercises? So then now you take this information, you either do it on Make or Zapier or GHL. Actually, GHL is probably the best for this, to host the form, because you're not going to. It's actually relatively cheap. You would then put the custom values next to it. So it would be like for GHL, it'd be like contact dot on a scale, right? Scale into GPT. It'll give you the summary back. Now you say, give me an example of someone's summary, right? Which then you would have emailed back to you, right? So, all right, we've got Sarah here. It's going to do that. So what you would then do, so let's go back into here. So you got the summary. You have that either emailed or messaged, probably not messaged to you, but summary emailed to you. And when you're recording your Loom, you can either read it verbatim or you could have it even sent to the client. So these are ones that you can, all right, cool. It's pretty long, but we could shorten this. So positive week, this is the kind of stuff we want. Her energy and motivation levels are good, and she's seeing some physical progress. However, there are areas for improvement, particularly in nutrition, consistency, and stress management. So if you're going over your loom and you're like, okay, Sarah, you had a positive week, great commitment to your fitness routine, despite some challenges. Siri engaged. Let's just stop that. Your energy levels and motivations were good, and you're seeing some good physical progress. However, there's areas for improvement, particularly in nutrition, consistency, stress management. That will shave off, at least a couple of minutes of you going through all of those answers individually. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but when you have 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 clients, saving minutes will save you hours, which is invaluable in your time. So that's one way that you can do it. Obviously, client check-ins can go way deeper when it comes to personalization and automation. However, this is a really good way to start, and it's relatively cost effective. So I know this is a little bit different video of me breaking down different automations and how you can kind of do it contextually rather than me just building them. I think this is the kind of information that online coaches, gyms should be thinking about when they're building this kind of stuff. So if you need someone to do it for you, obviously reach out. But if you are looking for some free resources about it, I am launching this very soon. It's not 100% ready to go yet. However, I've got some stuff in here, got some members already, which people have snuck in. However, I've got this free course where you can essentially go through and build out your entire CRM. This is what I do for people and charge thousands of dollars for, but I'm giving it away for free because I know some people in there are just not going to want to do it themselves, and they're going to get me to do it. But I'm going to be building out like Zapier full tutorial, Make full tutorial, and a couple of other ones that I have in the pipeline, a couple of other different platforms that I think are really good for fitness businesses. And I'm just going to drop some nuggets in here consistently as well. And if that sounds like something you want to do, it's free. It's free for now. If you're watching this in a year's time, it may not be free, but yeah, this is a long call to action. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon.